Welcome to another S&P 500 analysis. This week, we're going to take a look at the price action of the S&P 500, the futures, and also the ETF, along with the NASDAQ market as well. And we take a look at the crude oil and gold as well. Now, if you're interested in looking at the market internal and also the market sentiment, I will refer you to the post that I have in my newsletter, the Pulse of the Market, and we'll put the link in the description below. In addition, I also have put up some swing long trade ideas in another post in my newsletter, so I also put that link in the description below. So let's get started, and we're just gonna start with the S&P 500 and on this daily chart. And as you can see, the market or the S&P 500 have put in another new all-time high last week. And on Friday, it put in a new all-time high of 6,315.61, but it did not close with a new all-time closing high. That was on Thursday. It closed with a new all-time closing high of 6297.36. And here is what the market is pricing in for the coming week. It is pricing in for the upper range between 6377.50 and 6366.50. For the lower range is between 6227.10 and 6200 level. Now, let me remove this all-time high, these numbers. And here is the quick look at the range that the market has been, sort of bouncing around for the last few weeks. And let me switch this over to a hourly time frame. And you could see that it has encountered a little bit of a resistance up here at this 6,300 area. Recently, it got rejected a few times. And also notice this 6,200 area. It got a bounce back up that, a couple times as well. So we're basically looking at a little bit over 100-point range. And for the coming week, if I see the price unable to get above this 6,302, get above the 6,300, and start reversing back down, then I'd be looking for a retracement back down to the 6,200 area. Now, if it breaks out of the 6,300 and able to hold above that, then we'll basically just do a major move of 1x of this range, and that would be about 100 points. And then we'll put it up at the 6,400 area, and also that brings it back up above this upper range. So we might not get it up to that 6,400 level this week, but maybe in the coming week. But the interesting to note is look at where the the lower range that the market is pricing in is at the bottom of this range here near the 6,200 is the lower edge of the lower range for the coming week. So be aware of that possible retracement coming back down to this 6,200 level. Now let's take a look at the ES, mini S&P 500 future. See, the market is pricing in the upper range between 6412.5 and 6404.5. And on the lower range is between 6266 and 6230. And let me switch this over to the 1 hour chart. And we could take a look at the range that is also been trading within. You see that we also get this 6345 area here at this upper range, and the lower range is 6241. So again, it is pretty much a 100-point swing on this range here. So if we see this, ES unable to get above this 6345 level and move up, then we're going to look for a potential retracement back down to the lower range of this balance area at 6241, and look at the lower range of the weekly expected move. It is pricing in at the bottom of this balance area. So there's a good possibility we could see some sort of retracement back down to this area here near the 6241 in the coming week. Now, if it breaks above that, then we basically looking at a move up toward the upper ranges 6412. So if we put 100 point on top of 6345, then that will brings it up to 6445. So it's getting close to this upper range, just a little bit above the upper range. So that's basically what we are looking at for the ES in the coming week, or for the little bit of a swing, range here is down here at the 62.41 or the 64.40 area. And for the SPY, we're looking at the upper range. The market is pricing in 635.80 and 634.70. And the lower range is between 620.40 and 617.50. Now, see that the SPY has also made a new all-time high, but did not close with a new all-time closing high on Friday. And if we switch over to the 1 hour time frame, and we see that the SPY also been trading within a range here between 628 and 618. So that is a 10-point range, which is equivalent to a 100-point S&P cash index. So again, we're basically looking to see would it be able to get above this 628 level next week. If we could stay above this 628, then we're looking for a possible move on this 1X up to the 638 area. But if it come back down and get rejected, unable to move above the 628, then we're looking for a retracement back down to this 617, 618 area. And you see the lower range, the market is actually pricing in the lower range of the expected move down in this area here at the 618. So keep in mind and be aware of that possibility of a retracement back down to the 618. And if we go back to the daily, and you can see that the upper range at 635 is close to that 638 on that 100 or the 1X extension of this range here, this balance area. And looking at the NQ, the market is pricing in the upper range between 23,575 and 23,540, and the lower range between 22,917 and 22,775. So again, we basically are looking at this particular swing here in this range. And let me put this in the 1 hour time frame, then we see it. So right now, basically, again, we are looking at this range here, and the market is pricing in the lower range of the expected move for the coming week at this lower range, down here at 22,835.50. And the top of this range is 23,279. So we're basically looking for to see would it be able to get above this, 23,279 area. If it could, then we're basically looking for a 1X of this extension. And if it cannot get above that, this range here, the top of this range, and break above it, then we're looking for a retracement back down to this 22,800 area. And if we take a look at the extension to see what that is, let me bring this down here, and then we can see that here is that 1X extension. So if it could break above this 23,280 area, then we're basically looking at this 23,724, and that's top of the, a little bit above the upper range of the expected move. So, but I'm looking to see, how we're going to react up here at 23,280 area to see would it break out or reverse back down, get rejected, and come back down. And then we're looking at the QQQ. The upper range for the coming week is being priced in between 570.30 and 568.80. And the lower range is between 553.70 and 551. So once again, we're basically looking for this particular balance area extension on the upside and the retracement on the downside. So if I switch this over to the 1 hour chart, you can see that, again, we're looking for this 562.31. If we get above that 562 area, then we look for this extension on this range. And that is about 11 points or 10 to 11 points, because the lower edge of this range is 551.50. And look where the lower range of the weekly expected move. It is pricing in at this range here at the bottom of this range. So just like the ES, the SPY, and the NQ, we're looking for this thing to either break out above the 562 and extend it up to the 572 area, which is just slightly above the upper range of the weekly expected move, or get rejected and we trace back down to this 551.5 area. All right, let's take a quick review on the crude oil. As you can see, crude oil is still kind of chopping around at the bottom half of this distribution here. And it is trying to work itself back down to this 64 area. Let's switch this over to the 24-hour time frame and take a closer look. See that what we're going to be watching is that 64 area, this low volume zone here. If it come down and get a bounce back up, then we're basically looking for a possibility to move back up toward this 72.32 up at this edge here. But if it fail to be able to get a bounce and break through it, then we're basically looking for the possibility of coming back down to this 59.74 area, this low volume edge here. And basically watching 64. I think that will be the key level to keep an eye on. If oil is able to stay above 64, then we could look forward to try to come up to the 72. But if it fails to hold 64, then we're basically looking for the possibility of coming back down to the 60 area. All right, looking at the weekly chart of gold here, we see that gold is smack right in the middle of this distribution here, this high volume node. And we're going to be watching to see would it be able to get away from this area. And we switch over to the daily chart here. We can see that it is bouncing around right at 3350 area. So what we're going to be watching to see, would it be able to come up and take out this 3440, or would it come back down to this 3270 area here? So we're basically looking for a auction either up to the top of this distribution or back down to the bottom of this distribution for the coming week. Thank you for watching. If you like the content, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to this channel, click the subscribe icon to subscribe and help support this channel. Now, for more content from me, go visit my newsletter at smtraderCA.substack.com. You will find trade ideas, daily trade plans, weekly market review and analysis, trading tutorial and strategies, and much more in my newsletter, The Pulse of the Market. And the link is smtraderCA.substack.com.